Hello and welcome to the Knitical Therapy podcast. This is episode 13. I am Carrie, your host and Knitical therapist. Thank you so much for joining me, whether this is your first time or you are a returning listener. I appreciate you coming back. Today I have a few things to share with you, including a finished object, a work in progress, and some future knitting. Thank you. So the first thing I am wearing actually is my cardigan. And I suppose if I wasn't wearing it, it would make for a better example. But you can see I have sleeves, 2 of them, and a button band. So I am all completed. I will be taking pictures shortly. I do need to block it, and then hopefully I'll be able to take some good pictures and put them up on social media. This is the Plumline Cardigan by Baby Cocktails, and I used Kerry Woolen Mills Aran wool for this. So that is everything about this sweater. I used about 700 grams of yarn, so that was about 3.5 skeins of yarn, which was about what I had estimated. I do have quite a few. I have 2 untouched skeins and then half of a skein that I did not use. I hope to maybe make a matching hat or maybe mittens. I'm not sure. This is not really going to be cowl sweat yarn. It's a little rustic for that. So anyways, here you are again. You can really see the color. It's maybe a little darker in person. Okay, so that is my finished object. The thing I've been working on since finishing this is my color affection. So I've got this dark burnt orange, which is either called blood orange or I can't remember what the other one pumpkin possibly, but it seems a little darker than pumpkin. So I'm thinking this might be blood orange. I don't have the button band for this, so I don't know. And then it comes in here and there's mango. And then finally, the third stripe comes in as jade. There you go. And so I just finished that third section, and I just have to do the final bit with the jade. You can't even tell though, because I just did one half of a row. So still have to knit back and then do however many rows of that. But this is coming along. It's actually quite amazing. Things get finished when you focus on one thing rather than jumping around. So I'm actually really enjoying working on one thing at a time rather than jumping to different projects. However, I have a feeling I might be casting on a lot once I get a couple more things off my needles. So let me show you what I have coming up for the needles. So first up, I have this pile of leftover scraps, and if you've watched the podcast before, you might recognize it as my leftover fade. And so this is all little evil goats yarns, and let me see if I can smush them all together. There you go. This is what I made my What the Fade shawl from. So my hope is that maybe I can make a hat with this yarn. I would start here at the turquoise, and then I just have a little bit of this one. I think I used the most yarn of this one for some reason. And then kind of goes a little bit whiter. And then you start to get a little bit more pink and yellow. And then 2 more pinks that are pretty much the same. And actually, I had them in the wrong order. This would be E, and this is F. So yeah, I think some of the sections might be a little smaller, like especially these 2 for some reason just got eaten up, where the other ones have quite a bit more. So I might have some little sections or something that I have to fade out of quicker. But I thought that that might be a nice fun project because I really loved working with the yarn, and I really enjoyed how the fade turned out. So again, that is Evil Little Goats, and I hope that that flips around for you. Evil Little Goat yarn, and I would highly recommend her yarn. Pleasure to work with. Of the 6 skeins, I think I only had 1 that turned into a mess when I was winding it up. So definitely recommend it. Check her out. She's got some really cool stuff. The next thing that is a potential on the needles is some Bah Humbug socks. This is from Turtle Pearl Yarns, and they're, what is it, striped turtle toes. And I found these actually while I was looking for her mistletoe stripes or something like that, which I also did order. Haven't gotten it yet, but this one caught my eye and I just had to have it. It's got some red and green, but also like this dark charcoaly black. So Bah Humbug, that works. So that might be fun to cast on some nice Christmas socks. We'll see about that though. I do have one more potential thing that I am looking forward to possibly knitting. So Amanda from the We Are Yarn podcast is doing a sweater knit along for 2018. She hopes to knit 4 sweaters, 1 each quarter of the year. And I think that's a great idea. I do have quite a few sweater quantities of yarn, and I would like to use them up. I would like to actually have sweaters to wear rather than, you know, skeins of yarn in a box unable to be used. I have since finishing this sweater worn it quite a bit, so yeah, I would really love to have some more. So one thing that I am considering is doing a sew faded sweater. And to do that, I think I would start with, I have from Lolo Did It. I have a few different yarns. And by a few, I mean 6. So this started off with, I had heard of them before, but I hadn't actually purchased them until Halloween. I have Hippo for Halloween, which I just love the orange, purple, green. And it was Halloween-y without being in your face Halloween. Love that part right there. And then when I ordered this one, they also had Hippos for Dia de los Muertos. And I was a Spanish major growing up in high school, college, minored in it. Spent some time in Spain, and I just always loved the idea of Dia de los Muertos, you know, celebrating family rather than, it was just a different take on the time of year. So I have these two, and these are all Hippo yarns, so they're all on the same gray. But then this time of year, she came out with Thanksgiving, Hippos for Thanksgiving, which I won't lie, I was really hoping for more of the colors, and I don't know, like this part actually has quite a bit. You can see it. But the rest of the skein just seems to be very gray. So I'm not sure. It was a little undercolored compared to what she had online, in my opinion. But regardless, I still really love the colors, and I do think it would be kind of an interesting maybe place to start my fade, because it would have a little less color, so it would just be a little bit plainer up at the top. But anyways, so that's Thanksgiving. And then we have Hanukkah, Hippo for Hanukkah, which has a little bit of the yellow, blue that you generally think of for Hanukkah. And then of course, Hippos for Christmas. So, and then if I can find it in here, since I was ordering everything else, I decided I might as well get the Helping Hippos. And what I'm thinking with all of these, this big skein of yarn, or tons of skeins of yarn, I'm hoping that maybe I can open them up, lay them out, and kind of fade them into each other so that the sweater itself is more faded in just the speckles, not in the actual color. Like the overall color would be gray, but the fade would be of all these different speckles. So that's what I'm kind of leaning towards for maybe my January sweater. Amanda's working on hers. She just got down to the ribbing. I just watched her podcast, and so that seems like it went pretty quick for her. I could definitely go for a good sweater that's, moves along and isn't just gonna keep me from finishing for months and months, possibly a year, like this sweater did. Nothing against this sweater, it just, for whatever reason, didn't really want to get finished. So I do hope, I have my microphone here, I hope I'm not hitting it too much and moving it and scuffing up in your ear. That would be terrible. I do apologize. All right, so I was just looking to see if there was anything else that I wanted to talk to you about, and that seems to be it on the knitting front. I'm gonna grab my project here. I would like to maybe just really quick give an update for my running, if you're interested. I ran the 10K Gobble Wobble this past weekend on Thanksgiving, and I finished in 1 hour and 3 minutes. And I was pretty happy with that. I had a girl who I run with actually quite regularly. Our paces are pretty much the same, and she ran it with me, which was so great. I really don't think I would have done as well as I did if I didn't have somebody there kind of pushing me along. So that was really, really nice. If you're trying to get into a workout routine of any sort, find a friend, get somebody who will be there to cheer you along, because honestly, it's been the greatest thing ever, having people to meet up for long runs and meet up at races with, and it's just fun. We're all women and kind of support each other. Most of them are mothers, so there is a part of it I just don't understand right now. But it's fun to have people to run with. Nobody judges, nobody, talks down on anybody else, and everybody's just really supportive, and it's really awesome. So anyways, I'll get off my soapbox about that. So if you're ever wanting to run and you are a woman, and you should go check out the Moms Run This Town. They are a national organization, and they're awesome here. I'm assuming they're awesome everywhere else too. So that's pretty much it for the running. Although I do have a timed trial coming up. Again, the group is organizing a timed mile, which I've never done, at least not since I really started running. We used to do those ones, I guess it was in middle school, maybe high school, when, they'd make you run a mile, and I wasn't a runner, so I walked most of it, and it was never fun. You always dreaded that day. So it might be kind of fun to actually be able to run a mile and really race for it and see what I can do. And then of course I have the hot chocolate race coming up in San Francisco, and that should be fun, full of sweets, full of chocolate, 9 miles. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. I think that might be it. I already recorded this a couple times, and there was a couple of other things that I talked about, but I don't actually have the yarn yet. So I think I'm gonna wait until the yarn comes in, and then I will show you guys what I'm planning. And yeah, so there's a little teaser for you. Anyways, so if you're interested in a sweater along, go check out Amanda at We Are Yarn podcast. She's on YouTube, and that would be fun. Join us over there. Another podcast I just started watching, I actually stopped in the middle because it was getting late and I wanted to get this recorded before it got too late, was the Coffee and Craft podcast. And I can't, as I said, this was only the first time I watched her, and I think it might be her first episode. I can't think of her name, and I do apologize, but she's super sweet, and it was fun to watch. I'm going to go back and continue watching while this uploads to YouTube. So I hope you all have a wonderful crafty week. I will see you next week, and thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on KniticalTherapy on Instagram and Ravelry, and kwilla on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching. Happy knitting. Bye.